Okay, cool. Welcome back to Level 3 Focus. We're talking all about DiveKick today. The game was officially released on Tuesday, I think, last week. It sounds right. And then there was a tournament for it on Thursday at the Runback. I looked for other YouTube footage and stuff for this thing because I actually didn't want to show matches that I was involved in. I don't like doing that. But it was all I could find. So whatever, that's what we'll show. We're going to show the Runback. It was Justin Wong versus Henry Choi, and then it was Henry Choi versus me, and then it was me versus Justin. But I don't think we're going to get to all of that because we probably won't have enough time.
Not showing up. Hang on.
Not showing up? That's fine. I'll just BS for a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're going to see Mr.N, played by Justin Wong. We're going to see S-Kill, played by Henry. And we're going to see Uncle Sensei, played by me. So let's talk a little bit about those characters. Actually, while this happens, let's go into the characters thing, okay?
Sure. Hang on a second.
Into the gameplay, I should say.
Right.
Okay, cool. Can you press OK on your little doohickey there?
Here. It's
Oh,
the
yeah,
top
cool.
two shoulder buttons there.
Thanks, guy. So Mr. N, S-Kill. We haven't seen S-Kill. We have seen the other two, but let's saw Marn a little bit. Let's go to S-Kill. Blah. Let's talk a little bit about what they do. Let's go with, I don't even know. What should I pick? Let's do this one, because I don't know. And then let's go with this. And then let's go with this. And we always have to go with red if it's available. That's how, except for in pink, in cases of pink. That's it. So Sensei has two stances. He's a stance character. One is much more horizontal. One is much more like 45 degrees, maybe not even that much. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little bit more shallow even than that. He has the ability to go really high with super jump. That's his ground special. And in the air, he can switch from any stance into the other stance just as many times as he can fit into a jump while he still has meter. S-Kill is a really weird character, and this is only the second time that I played against him when I played against Henry. But he's a double jump character. So he goes into the air, right, there's one jump. He can do two. And in fact, if you just mash on the jump, you can do a second jump without having to teleport at all. Well, without having another graphical teleport at all. His kickback is really good. Let's see it. That is to say, pressing kick on the ground moves you up and backwards really far. And if you do two of them, he moves really far back and really high up. Okay, let's see his jumping or his dive kick angle. It's kind of, it's kind of like Sensei's kick angle actually. It's not that great offensively. So what you're going to see a lot out of Henry is kind of towing the line, playing a little bit defensively, waiting for things, and then looking for setups with his air special. Let's see. Which is Trick, which moves him right next to the opponent's head from wherever he was. And, let's see. And he can get him. If you press kick immediately, you can do a headshot if you have placed it right. So that's really his best way of moving forward. Justin, we saw a little bit of Mr. N beforehand. He can jump really high. He has the ability to run backwards. He can float in the air. Justin plays him pretty offensively, as we'll see. So let's get into that thing if possible. Yeah. Cool, man. Thanks. So Justin is on the one-player side. Henry Choi is on the two-player side.
Does this go okay?
This looks great. Thanks, dude. The white one? Come on, Henry. Come on, Henry. At least Justin's doing it right. Look at this. He's got the pink one. Come on. Oh yeah, and he has the ground parry. That's his ground special, which is actually really important. He can parry stuff for a certain number of frames as long as it's in his upper body. So you see what Henry's doing at the start. Justin's opening gambit was to move forward very, very slightly, just to kind of toe up a little bit. Mr. N can do a kick very, very low to the ground, and that allows him to approach that kind of slow, patient way. Whereas for Henry, as you can see, like I said, much more about moving backwards. That's really where the strength of his character lies, kind of baiting you into attacking. Or if you want, you can stay away, let him build meter, and he can use trick or parry if you finally decide to come in. So you see Justin moves forward a little bit. He's waiting for Henry to overcommit. Henry moves backwards instead, and then has a really nice kickback in the air to get out of there. Looking for parry now. And Justin was just waiting. You could see the angle on Mr. N's kick, where it attacks. So he has a pretty shallow attack angle, but he moves high enough that he effectively covers a lot of space, as you can see right there, especially in kick factor. He gets basically to the top of the screen. Another strength of Mr. N is that he does build very, very fast kick meter. Very similar opening gambit from Justin. Inching forward. Is he going to do the same thing? No, he actually goes balls to the wall, tries to go in there, and actually gets punished for it. So as in any opening gambit, you can't do the same thing every time. A Hulk can't always just press stand H at the start of things. Wolverine always can't do the same thing at the start of things. And it's no different in this game. You got to mix it up a little bit. Another headshot. It's pretty crazy, actually. And Justin just, again, waiting for Henry to overcommit. Henry moves backward, as Justin had grown to expect. There was very little challenge at the doorstep there by Henry in his opening gambits. And that allowed Justin to move forward, gain a little bit of space. And as he moved forward, that space control became more and more important. As Henry moved backwards, there was less and less space for him to convince Justin to move in and for him to capitalize on that. So another strength of Mr. N is that he can get headshot and not worry about it the first time. It doesn't actually count as a headshot, which is really important in a game where being headshot means so much. It means that you can't move nearly as fast. Some characters get, or pretty much are free kills if they get headshot. Justin, recognizing that, goes in much harder than he had when there was no headshot. Justin going up into the air, seeing whether there was going to be any challenge on the line from Henry, and again there wasn't, so he went in. But nice. Henry gets the headshot with the parry. Parry usually does result in a headshot. The reason why that's at all reasonable is that S-Kill can't really move forward that well. So he can't capitalize off of a headshot all that great. This time Henry actually does challenge at the line a little bit. And I like seeing that for him, that he's willing to do that. Man, this is a scramble mode right here. Okay. Those up-close mix-ups with the character like Mr. N, who has the ability to do kick or dive kick very quickly, he capitalizes on that a lot better than most people. And he has this crazy hitbox that should not hit stuff, but does. Henry challenges a little bit and sees that Justin was trying to come from on top. Dive into kickback, looked like, into the kick, and he gets him. Ooh! Oh man, that was so sick. He got the parry just then. You can parry as you're landing. Resulted in dead Justin, so he comes all the way back to win the second game. Good stuff from Henry. I like how they made S-Kill into a douche. It's pretty good. And I think Justin's just going for the take a little time strategy. He doesn't switch gems or anything. Just pretty much sticks with dive with that character. The gems add a little bit of a boost to whichever attribute you use. So your dive means that your jump is a little higher and faster. Your style is your meter builds a little faster. Your kick is that you kick a little bit faster. Okay, Justin's opening gambit. Move forward very slightly. He knows that at that range, S-Kill really can't punish. It's a safe opening gambit for him to just move very, very slightly forward. He knows he's not going to get punished for it. It doesn't have the reward of a more gutsy start, right? We've seen gutsier starts from him where he's immediately gotten a headshot, but that's not going to happen with that opening gambit. It's just about kind of feeling the other person out now at the start of the third round. Something that Justin does a lot in any game. You'll see him take a little bit of time to understand what the opponents are going to do, the tendencies are in the mid-range game like this. Oh man, yeah, he was hoping that Justin just would land with a dive kick on that parry. Didn't work out. Gets blown up for it. And again, looking like it's all Justin's right now. And with that kick factor, you see it's pretty tough for Henry. He can move backwards quickly, but he doesn't want to corner himself immediately against the kick-factored Mr. N, because that can pretty much mean good night. Ooh! Not a real headshot, though, because it's Mr. N. That sucks. It's a pretty good mechanic for him. Henry trying to do dive into kick accidentally gets the parry at the start right there, so he loses some meter, which can be pretty important. Ooh, the parry again, Justin telegraphing it, going in a little bit too hard there. And that's a big risk for S-Kill to take, to do a parry when his opponent's on the ground, because if he mistimes it by just a bit, he gets blown up for it. He has a little bit of whiff animation. Alright, so Justin gets into Grand Finals. Henry, I forget who he has to play, some douche probably, some ass. Probably not very good at games. Let's fast forward a bit, I don't care about this guy. Yeah, that's fine. Well, actually, no. I guess let's go to the opening game because it's more important in this game than it is in most. So this is my second time ever playing against an S-Kill. My first time was losing to Doppels in the very first round of this tournament. So I'm kind of trying to figure it out and thinking about how to approach with Sensei, because it's not really that obvious how to get in. Sensei has a very slow punch dive. And if he commits to it, if he overcommits to it, as we'll see, I'm sure, S-Kill can really blow him up by getting into the air, doing a kickback in the air, and capitalizing. So I try to get to this range where I think I can threaten from. I think I can wait for him to do something and punish it. And I don't like his ability to approach me, so I can just kind of be a wall, be an annoying wall for him once I have a certain amount of meter. See, I'm just kind of waiting for him to overcommit, for him to do a second jump, for him to do a kick, something like that. And unfortunately, I'm an idiot too, and I overcommit myself. But that's really what I think the name of the game is against S-Kill for me. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Sometimes Sensei can get through that parry into headshot there if he does the stance switch at the exact right time. So that's why I'm kind of mashing stance switch whenever I get hit by parry. So I'm trying to toe this line, and I don't really believe in Henry's ability to move forward that well with this character. So I'm not afraid to go in. It's just that I don't quite have the spacing down yet. I'm not exactly sure where I can be standing and be okay. I do have to worry about him getting meter for trick, exactly like that. If he gets that meter, then he can move forward, he can be a threat, he can potentially headshot me, which is all a pretty big issue for me. So I can't let that happen, but if he doesn't have it, then I think I'm fine holding a certain spot on screen and just kind of threatening, waiting for the whiff punish. And there's that super jump. I saw him do the double jump. I went up there into the air to meet him, and I got him. And then I am an idiot and going way too hard, and almost lose this first game. I got 1 hit point left, and he has 3. He has 60% of his life bar remaining. So I'm getting a little bit more worried. As you can see, I'm moving backwards a little bit more. I'm not quite as offensive as I was before. I'm not much of a threat. And that means that he can build meter a little bit more easily. So I'm trying to be mobile so that he doesn't just ass me out with trick. And I happen to find the exact middle of the stage right there. So now I have a little bit more gutsiness to me. I'm trying to get in there, trying to scramble a little bit with Sensei, especially in kick stance with the dive kick instead of the dive punch. Big part of his game. Oh man, kick factor. I don't even want kick factor. That sucks. Yeah. Dang, again. Henry overcommits. So he's kind of giving me these last couple rounds. He didn't need to let me have those. That's just kind of, like any mid-range kind of scramble situation. Sometimes people overcommit, sometimes people undercommit. They don't know exactly where to go in, where to not. That's been something that I've had problems with in this game already so far, but same for Henry too. So I recognized in the last 2 rounds, I've been able to get to the center of the screen pretty well. And so I just go to it this time thinking, hey man, it worked out last couple times. It might work out this time too. And it did not. So I lose the first game. But I like that idea. If you can see what the matchup is, it's tough for me to do a punch dive in there. It's kind of tough for me to go in at all until I see that he's double jumped. If I don't see that, then I really can't do that because he can move backwards and up in the air. And he can punish me for getting in. So he controls that space effectively. And there you can see. That's Exhibit A. For Sensei players, don't go in like a crazy man against an S-Kill. And that's exactly what I did, and I get busted for it. So now that I have this corner, this mid-screen situation again, I'm trying to build a little meter so I have super jump. But after that, I really want to toe the line again. I want to threaten him with my high range, with my high jump, I should say, with my far range, and it's really not working out. Yeah, I'm swinging. It's not even smart swinging right now. It's, I've been in this situation plenty of times. It's me overcommitting with Zangief. It's me overcommitting with Dalsum. It's me overcommitting with Hakan. I'm rushing in too hard. It's stupid, but luckily it's worked out in the last couple rounds. So I recognize that, right, that I had been going in a little bit too hard. And I try to dial it back a little bit and get a little bit more safe than I was before. I remember thinking this, I just realized that he can't parry low. He can't parry his bottom half. And I got him with the little toesies right there, with the hand toesies. Something I'm gonna try for more often, I think after this. Understanding where his vulnerable spots are. They're definitely not what I expected them to be at the start. When he lands, he's a threat with parry, but not at his feet. So after some scrambles, I end up taking the game, evening it up. We both come to understand a little bit more about how each other plays. He is, has been pretty successful with, mostly kind of just keeping the same spot on screen and threatening me with the fact that I don't know what his movement's going to be. You can see a lot of his movement is literally invisible. I just have to kind of guess as to what he's doing, and a lot of that is a bad guess, so I don't necessarily want to get involved. I've seen that it's worked out really well if I... Yeah, you like that? You like that? So what I wanted to do was just get to the middle of the screen. But I recognized that I was coming in at an angle that was going to allow him to parry me. I switched into the kick, which involves a little bit of a delay, and that delay meant that he could not do the parry. It was that exact little mix-up in timing that allowed me to take that round instead of him. So again, I'm pretty content with playing defense now. It seems to be working out pretty well for me. Oh, that's pretty stupid. I don't want to do kick factor as Sensei. I want to stay away from kick factor because I'd rather use it for super jump. But my goal there was to just stay away and play for the center stage, because it doesn't seem like he can really do much if I play for that timeout, if I play for the defensive style. Very different styles you can see than Justin. He had a very offensive style, and that blew up S-kill too, or Henry's S-kill. In any case, I'm trying to do this lame style. And it's been mostly working. I come in occasionally for the hit to keep him honest, as you have to in footsie situations in general. You can't always back up. You have to challenge in some cases. That's why I won the previous round. But yeah, so right there, the punch dive, landing on his feet. He can't parry it. It's a pretty safe angle for me to take too. It's tough for him to land right on top of my head there. He can, but it's just really tough for him to do that. So I've kind of changed my ideas on how to approach him, and it's been working out. You can see I'm up 4-1. I remember thinking, I'm sitting pretty much know I can lose this at this point. And then I get a headshot like a douche. Come on, man. What are you doing? But like I said, S-kill can't really take that great advantage of a headshot. It's mostly about getting meter. But meter's important for him because it means he has trick, and I get double headshotted, and now I'm starting to worry. Now I've been frame trapped a couple of times by Cammy or Sakura, and I'm like on the ropes. Like I know the next hit is pretty much going to be bells. Not literally death quite yet, but I'm 2 hits away from dying right now. Yeah, and I, like an idiot, land into kick stance with my legs hanging out in the air, and now I'm just like, you know what? You just gotta go in sometimes, man. You just gotta go in. That's how it is. I mean, that's how any fighting game is. Sometimes you have to go in. When you think that the opponent doesn't expect it, after all of that set of very defensive play, of patience, I ended a lot of rounds with timeout, whether I won them or not. I stayed away and tried for the timeout. I played this very defensive style. At the very end, I was like, you know what? Not looking for this. He's not looking for this. And I went in, and that's exactly what happened. So.
I mean, funny thing is, that's exactly what we were telling Larry to do in the last one.
Yeah?
He was too defensive, and then got to switch it up, and that's exactly what you did.
It's a fighting game, man. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Let's pause it a little bit.
Okay. Let's pause on your beautiful mug. you want to switch over to just you then?
Yeah, that's fine. Just no big deal. Yeah, so we've seen a couple of matchups so far in DiveKick, and you can see very different play styles in both of them so far. I mostly took a defensive style. I mostly wanted space control. I wanted to play for lame timeouts against S-Kill. I did have the occasional switch up. I went in occasionally, sometimes stupidly, sometimes when, even looking back, I thought it was smart. Sometimes when looking back, I think I'm an idiot. That's kind of the calculus that you have to do if you're Larry or if you're whoever else, and you have match videos of yourself. You've got to go back if you want to be a competitor and see what you did wrong, see what you did right, and kind of move on from that. One major thing that I learned after the set was trying to approach S-Kill at the bottom, at his feet, rather than what I normally did. What I normally do as Sensei is approach with the punch dive and then kind of land on top. The very same angles that a Shoals would take. But there's not really a need to do that as Sensei. I can do the exact opposite. I can go like this and then across. It just depends on the matchup. Some characters blow that up. If you have very good horizontal movement, you can blow that up. But if you don't really, like S-Kill, then that can be a threat to you. So you have to kind of understand these different angles. We saw Justin with the much more offensive style. He had opening gambits that tended not to be overcommitting of movement. It was much more cautious, and he used that style to really fluster Henry, I would say. Henry, when he was caught in the corner, got a lot of bad situations for himself. He was unable to get out of the corner unless he had meter for trick, and he took Justin to the third round, to the third game. He did a good job, but you could see that Justin's more overwhelming offensive style was effective enough to take out Henry. So let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to get to the grand finals of the Runback from last week in DiveKick. See you in a bit.